This is by Chilling Scares. 6 most disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. Again, this is by the channel Chilling Scares, guys. Requested by Simon. Here we go. I still think low-key that Chilling Scares is like Mr. Nightmare's second channel. And he just hasn't told anyone because it literally sounds like Mr. Nightmare, I think.
In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason uploaded a video to his channel, Abbey Mountain.
That has to be Mr. Nightmare. It's like his Mr. Nightmare, the OG original channel, he just like shows pictures and tells scary stories. Chilling Scares is more like they show video clips and Chilling Scares talks about the scary video clips. I think this is Mr. Nightmare's second channel. It sounds just like him.
Trekkers, in which he recorded footage of his solo overnight trip to the mountains. His channel is dedicated to all things outdoors, in which Jason frequently uploads videos of his adventures hiking, camping, and surviving in the woods. In this particular video, his hike up to the mountain is pretty uneventful, and as soon as he arrives at the campsite, Jason begins setting up his tent and shows his viewers how he starts a fire as the sun begins to set.
Guys, there's some YouTube channels with millions of subscribers, like what, Outdoor Boys or something like that, I think the channel name is. These people just record themselves camping outside, get like millions of views. It's crazy.
As he waits for the day to end, he tries his luck at spoon carving. And this is when he reports hearing a strange sound coming from the top of one of the mountains.
Oh, don't tell me it's Bigfoot
or some other small animal and continues setting up for the night. At about 9 o'clock, he turns his camera off to go to bed, but less than an hour later, he wakes up to a strange sound that he says he's never heard before in his life. He mentions it sounded like some sort of guttural animal call, but because it came from pretty far away, he couldn't identify what it was.
I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between a...
Where's Angry Grandma when you need her? She likes Bigfoot hunting.
almost like a pig.
A pig?
Kinda, I'm not even, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic.
It's freaking Bigfoot.
Still shaken after the rude awakening, he tries to go back to bed, but just a few hours later at around 1 a.m., he wakes up again to what he describes as the sound of something or someone circling his tent.
Whatever it is, it's close. You hear that?
I hope bro brought a gun with him camping. He hears something walking around outside his little shelter he made. I hope he has a knife or a gun or something.
Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started
It could just be people.
on the other side of my camp.
Could just be creepy people out in the frickin' woods. You never know.
If you look closely at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the reflection of what appears to be 1 or 2 sets of eyes as he pans his flashlight over them. Although there are many animals with eyes that reflect light at night, based on the fiery white color of the reflection, it's very likely that Jason was being observed by wolves or coyotes. Dog's eyes will also give off a white reflection, but considering that it was around...
Oh, I do see the eyes. I didn't know what that was before. It does look like eyes staring back at Jason. Oh, that's creepy.
1 a.m. when this happened, it's unlikely that a dog would be walking around in the mountains so close to his campsite.
Yo.
Coyote and wolf attacks on humans are rare, as both species tend to avoid human contact, but they can still become very aggressive if they feel threatened.
What if it was
especially
bears?
Nearby.
Do bears hunt at night?
If this were the case, Jason would be in grave danger, but chillingly, he doesn't even seem to notice the eyes watching him as he scans the area with his flashlight.
That's creepy.
Luckily, he went back to his tent and slept safely through the night. When he woke up the next morning, he recorded another update for his viewers, but he never mentioned the eyes that his camera had captured the night before, suggesting he might have never noticed. After this video, there were no additional updates on the incident.
No additional information.
In 2021,
Oh,
YouTuber Matt Field spent the night in a dark cave in the middle of nowhere in Australia after his friend told him about an unsettling experience he had in that cave. And
I've heard nothing good come out of Australia as far as like out in the wilderness. There's so many like poisonous snakes, spiders. I don't know what other creatures are lurking in Australia, but there's a lot of stuff that can hurt you.
dared him to spend the night there alone. Matt's channel is a bit more extreme than
Bobby.
other outdoor exploration channels, and his videos often feature him leaving civilization behind and going to remote locations for days, living only off the fish he catches and the animals he hunts. In the video, he mentions that he didn't bring any water to the trip, hoping to find water to drink in the cave. After about 4 hours of walking, he finally finds the cave and climbs down the man-made ladder inside.
Yo, thanks for the super chat, Brandon. Appreciate it, man.
Venturing deeper inside the cave, Matt crawls into the different holes he finds to see if any of them lead anywhere. Around this time, he started hearing a couple of rocks falling near the entrance, and the sound of some sort of animal walking.
Matt just crawled into some random cave? What if are there bears in Australia? What if there's like a bear or something in the cave? I don't know. I don't know if there's bears in Australia. There's gotta be, I would think.
Walking around. At one point in the video, he mentions he feels like he's being watched, and things get a little more disturbing.
I would not climb down some random cave hole.
For dinner.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, guys, like Chilling Scares said, this guy Matt is pretty extreme. He goes out in the wilderness with, I'd understand no food, like make it a challenge to catch a rabbit or, you know, catch some fish, find berries or find something to eat, part of the challenge. But to bring no water, that's risky. What if he doesn't find any water and then he like dies of dehydration out in the freaking wilderness? I'd at least bring a couple bottles of water or something.
Beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God.
There's something in there, bro.
That was the sound.
It sounded like chains.
That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms.
Guys, it sounded like metal
It's
chains.
The chains moving when I climbed down the ladder.
Oh, it is the chains. Bro, why the hell?
It's a big, heavy.
Is this like an old mining cave? Is this like an old mining cave or something that's abandoned? Yo, this could be haunted as hell.
Thick chain. Wind can't move that.
Yes.
When Matt recorded this video, it wasn't a windy night at all, and
Glad I could make it to the stream. Did you get my Facebook messages?
Hey, it's all good, Z-Man. Thanks for the donation, bro. I will, I'll check my Facebook messages here when this video is done, okay, man?
the fact that the chain is moving can only mean that there's someone or something down there with him.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even for... Holy...
What the hell is moving the chain, bro? You need to get out of there, bro. Get out of there.
Must have heard that just then.
He looks terrified.
Look at my arms.
I'd be scared too.
Oh, this...
I don't think a crocodile would be in a cave. But...
Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on. And I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound, and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours.
Guys, what if something just reached out and grabbed him? He drops his camera and it just pulls him into the darkness. That'd be like something straight out of a freaking horror movie.
2.5 hours after.
King Ninja, what's up?
Guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
After the creepy noises subside, he changes his mind about leaving the cave and decides to spend the rest of the night near the entrance. A couple of hours later, he reported hearing hissing sounds that sounded like human voices, but after walking around the cave, he couldn't find anything that could be making those noises. Aside from big animals, the worst thing that could have happened.
What if that freaking chain ladder broke and he was stuck down in the cave? I'm assuming he doesn't have a phone, or if he's out in the wilderness, he probably doesn't have any cell phone reception. Guys, I didn't even think about that. It's literally like a ladder made out of chains. What if the chain somehow broke, if it was like all rusty or old? If that ladder broke, he's stuck down there.
What happened to Matt is to have come across a hostile squatter living in the cave, although it's unclear why anyone would want to live down there. Fortunately, he made his way out of the cave safely as soon as the sun rose, and never went back to that cave.
Are you talking to me, Z-Man? Must have been busy today. I wasn't on my phone a lot today. If you sent me a message, I'll have to check, man. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget to respond to messages. Sorry.
Again. Roadie is a channel dedicated to off-the-grid living, in which the uploader usually posts videos about what life is like living out of his truck and
Fruit Punch, Bobby.
Country.
Fruit Punch.
The videos are usually pretty cool, with an emphasis on the beauty of nature and independent living. But this particular video is a bit more disturbing than the rest. In December 2017, Roadie uploaded footage of an incident that took place earlier that year while he was car camping in a parking lot. At around 1:30 a.m., a hooded man started walking around his truck and taking pictures of his license plates. Because the back of the truck where the uploader was sleeping was pretty much pitch black, the man probably didn't see anyone in there and continued to suspiciously walk around the truck for several minutes, unaware that he was being recorded. After a while, the man makes his way to the side of the truck and tries to shine the flashlight inside, which is when the uploader decides to take action to protect himself and let the man know he's there.
That's creepy. This guy's just taking pictures of his license plate? What the hell?
Immediately after the uploader bangs his fist on the inside of the truck, the suspicious man runs away. It's unclear what exactly he planned to do, but based on his behavior, it couldn't have been anything good, and he was probably planning a carjacking. Fortunately, the uploader was able to get away safely and spend the night elsewhere. Gary and Amica are a father-daughter duo from Scotland who make videos about their travels around Europe in their camper van. The videos are usually pretty wholesome.
Wow, I've never been to Scotland before. That looks absolutely beautiful. Wow, look at just the green pastures and the trees and the mountains. That looks beautiful.
And entertaining, but in this particular video, Gary and Amica had a pretty disturbing encounter.
Wow.
This footage was uploaded in March of 2023 during a trip to Tensmere Forest in North Fife, Scotland. As they were walking through the woods, Amica told her dad she heard voices somewhere near them, and after searching for a while, this is what they found.
You've been to Scotland, Momo? Man, Momo's been everywhere. Momo lives in Japan. He's been to Scotland. Where else have you been, Momo?
We just stopped and had a look in these woods. Look at how scary that is.
Oh, it's a bunch of mannequins.
On the ladders.
Oh, there's someone lying on the ground.
Falling over. Look at the one on the ladders going up the tree.
There's just a bunch of mannequins? Oh, hell no.
Yeah, there. Keep it there.
Imagine if the mannequins started moving.
Weird,
I would run for my life. Right, Z-Man?
In addition to dozens of creepy mannequins dressed up in costumes, they came across some pretty unsettling paintings hanging outside the little cabin in the middle of the woods.
What's up, GTA
I did some
homie
research
raps?
and found several other channels that featured the strange cabin, but the only information I could find was that the mannequins and paintings were probably set up there at some point in 2021. It's unknown what exactly the purpose of all this is, but whoever set it up clearly went through a lot of trouble to make it as
Does someone live here on this property with all the mannequins, or is it just completely abandoned?
creepy as possible. As Gary and Amica make their way out of the woods, a car starts to approach them from the other side, and
You've been to about every country? Damn, Momo.
Gary starts to get a
You must travel a lot.
Fortunately, they were able to make it back to the van without having to cross the car's path. As of this video's upload, there have been no further updates on the creepy discovery. In 2018, a YouTuber named John uploaded this video to his channel Lost Lakes, in which he posts
Maintaining sanity with an animal outside the tent. Oh gosh, that sounds scary. Hopefully it's not a freaking bear.
about his backcountry camping adventures in Canada. The video was taken at around 3:30 a.m. at a remote location west of Chapleau, Ontario, where, according to John, there was no cell phone signal.
I've never left the United States either, DW.
Living every solo camper's nightmare right now. There appears to be an animal of some kind.
It sounds like
pacing around my tent.
Sounds like a bear.
And then around 3:30, I started to hear this pacing sound. And 45 minutes later, it's still just pacing around out there.
It smells you, dude. It smells dinner. Animals, especially like bears, they have an extremely good sense of smell. The bear or wolf or whatever animal it is probably like, what's that smell in there? Smells kind of good.
Considering he was camping in a remote location in the black bear capital of the world, it's very likely
Black bear capital of the world? Oh, why would you go camping where there's a bunch of black bears? Bro, come on. Don't be stupid.
that there was a bear or some other large animal outside the tent. Although it's rare for bears to attack campers, it has been known to happen. Other animals such as moose or wildcats can also pose a threat to campers if they ever feel threatened or provoked.
Guys, the farthest I've ever been from Illinois, I live in northern Illinois. I've been to Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana. I've driven through Ohio. The farthest I've ever been from where I live is Buffalo, New York, when I went and visited my friend MFF Gaming and ATV. That was like 4 years ago. Yeah, the farthest I've traveled is east to Buffalo, New York. I haven't really gone anywhere else. My parents live in Kentucky. That's why I've been to Kentucky and Tennessee before. Driven through Ohio, Indiana. Been to Pennsylvania one time, but that's about it.
And in those cases, a feeble camping tent won't offer a lot of protection against an angry 600-pound animal.
600
It's much more common for people to be
pounds?
harassed by other people than by animals.
Damn.
But in this case, the footsteps don't sound very human.
Zombie.
To maintain sanity, John shows his viewers the things he brought along on his camping
Oh,
trip to
thank
protect
goodness.
himself against animals.
An
which
air
include a
horn.
hatchet, bear spray, and an air horn. Near the end of the video, he mentions his car is right outside the tent, but he can't find his key and probably left it in the car.
Bro.
But in the end, he slept through the night safely. He never found out what exactly was walking around his tent that night.
That's actually smart to have an air horn because air horns are super loud. It would probably scare the crap out of like a bear. Like, what the hell's that loud noise? An air horn, but a little hatchet? Bro, why don't you have like a pistol or something? Like, the air horn might scare away like a bear or a wolf or something, but that little hatchet, if you hit an animal with a hatchet, it's just going to piss it off. You'd have to hit a black bear several times in like the head with a hatchet to kill it. And they have a thick skull.
Most campers will say they're more afraid of running into ill-intentioned people rather than aggressive animals on their camping trips, and this footage is the perfect example of why. Love Sundays is a channel run by a man named Sean who uploads videos of his solo camping adventures in the UK. In a video he uploaded in September 2022, he shows what happened one night when he camped on the side of the road in Cornwall. Technically, he wasn't supposed to be camping there due to parking regulations, so he made every effort possible to make it seem less obvious that he would be spending the night on the side of the road. Before the sun sets, he goes into his van and starts making dinner, making as little noise.
Wait, did he say he lives in his van? That's kind of cool, I guess. Cheap rent.
as possible to avoid unwanted attention. At around 9 p.m., he turns off the lights and goes to bed.
Oh yeah, a shotgun would be something good to have, especially with like a bear. A shotgun would be loud and pretty powerful.
Everything seems to be going just fine, but at around 2 a.m., Sean's night takes a pretty unsettling turn.
Someone's trying to open up the door. What the hell? I would just get in the driver's seat. I would just start up the van and drive away.
Okay, I think they've gone.
I guess that's what you get for parking on the side of the road.
It's not uncommon for solo campers to be asked to move somewhere else in the middle of the night, especially when you're parked somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
It could have been a police
But
officer.
in this case, it's highly unlikely that this was a police officer or some other person with the authority to tell him to move, as in these cases, they would almost always knock first and announce themselves verbally.
Yeah, very true. I guess if it was a police officer, they would have been like, they would have knocked first and then be like, hey, this is the police, open up. But then a criminal could say they're a police officer just for you to open up the door. So I don't, that'd be a hard situation.
Once they have your attention, they'll ask you to leave, but they won't just walk up to a van on the side of the road and start trying the door handle without announcing their intentions. It's
really,
much more
Will?
likely that someone was trying to break into Sean's van. Luckily, whoever was trying to break in left after only a few seconds, and Sean wasn't bothered by them again. These kinds of encounters can be extremely disturbing, but luckily Sean woke up the next morning unharmed and was on his way to his next destination shortly after.
That'd be a little weird though, guys. Don't you feel like that'd be a little weird? Living in a van and just driving around and you live in a van, you're just driving around and you just sleep in random places? I don't know, I feel like that'd be a little weird.